All right, Broncos country, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a great day, evening, whenever you're watching this. Thank you all who have tuned into my defensive grades breakdown as well as my trades target video. Y'all be sure to check that out. I'll leave them in the description. But let's go ahead and check out how our offense performed. Are there any, small positives that we could take out of this lackluster performance that by the offense? Maybe there's some individuals who played pretty well that we can recognize who are great bounce back candidates for our game against the Saints coming up on Saturday. Let's break it down. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe. Let's get to it. I'll move my face over there. It probably looks a little bit better. So we're going to start out looking at the blocking, okay? And let's go ahead and start with pass blocking first. Pass blocking, I thought we did a decent job pass blocking really as a whole. We gave up 1 sack, 11 pressures, 8 hurries, 2 hits. I feel like most weeks you'll take that. Again, only 1 sack. It was kind of the penalties and the turnovers, things like that, the drop passes that really killed the momentum of this offense. But I don't really think pass blocking was a huge issue. Now, let's get to the grades. Again, take all this with a grain of salt, but it's nice to see our offensive linemen kind of up here at the top. Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Quinn Miners. Thought all these guys, played pretty well. Matt Peart, especially coming in as our third string right tackle. I thought he did a phenomenal job. Like when you're getting this sort of production, yes, he gave up 4 pressures and hurries, but no sacks and no penalties. No penalties. Garrett Bowles had 2 penalties. Quinn Miners had a penalty. Matt Peart didn't have one. I would give that an A performance from our third string right tackle, and we'll get to it. But he did great in the run game. Now, Alex Forsyth, this is, I think, where we really did miss Luke Wattenberg, which is a little bit surprising to me because I thought maybe Forsyth and Luke Wattenberg were a little bit more similar. But when you do switch out, a guy making his first ever start, I believe, Alex Forsyth, in the regular season in his career, wasn't terrible, but wasn't great either, right? Just kind of average, I guess, what you would expect somebody coming out making their first start, but gave up that 1 sack, 1 hit, 2 hurries, 4 pressures. You could see that he was kind of getting pushed back quite a bit in some of those different pass sets. But yeah, that's kind of the big takeaway that I had, is that I thought that we saw a better game from our offensive line in pass pro. Now, when we get into the run blocking, again, that kind of changes things. When you got Vele, Troy Franklin, Will Jordan Humphrey, like all kind of within your top 5, that means, man, probably your other guys aren't doing their job in the run blocking. Peart was given a great grade, a fantastic grade at 90. Quinn Miners at 81. Will Jordan Humphrey at 76, but only eight run blocks. Granted, we only had 12 designed runs that we blocked for. So you want to see us get more out of the run game and not get away from it. Again, I think we got away from our strategy play calling on both the defensive and offensive side of the ball. Then you're like, okay, let's find the rest of our offensive linemen. Here, Garrett Bowles here at 54.3. Ooh, that's tough. Ben Powers is over here at 60.8. Then Alex Forsyth down here at 53.7. Adam Troutman had a rough game. And it's strange to see here too in pass blocking. Javonte Williams had a rough game in pass pro. That's normally not what we see from him, but credited with giving up a hit and a pressure on only 6 snaps. Yikes. And, Jaleel McLaughlin, he said, Javonte Williams, hold my beer. I got you. 16.9. So, again, take everything PFF does with a grain of salt, but just because it is pretty subjective on these grades. But I find them, even though I can have some disagreements on some of these things, I do find them to be like somewhat in the general idea of kind of who performed good, who wasn't great. You can kind of get that from this. Let's get into the rushing. Again, we Didn't really get to see much. It was nice that Audric Estime averaged 6.5 yards per attempt. He had an 11-yard run, which is great. The other one was 2 yards. So hopefully we see more of him moving forward. That would be great. Yards after contact, 10 yards. That's really nice. Granted, Javonte had a rough day, but was still more productive than Julian McLaughlin. McLaughlin with a 2.7 yards per average, yards per attempt. Javonte Williams at a 3.8. Either way, man, we just need more designed carries in general. And then you saw Troy Franklin get off a nice 5-yard run on a jet sweep. Would be nice to incorporate a little bit more of that. But Javonte Williams, of course, had the fumble. Do they have that in here? Guess not. Oh yeah, here it is, right here. With the one fumble, that was just a backbreaker. We got to see more from our running backs. I think Javonte, he just kind of is going to give you those up and down performances. Let's hope we catch him on an up performance this week against the Saints, but I wouldn't mind seeing more Audric Estime for sure. Let's figure out if he can be a feature back next year. If not, he can be a great complimentary back, and maybe we draft somebody in the 3rd round to be a potential starting running back for us. Let's take a look at the receiving. Not really sure how they calculate receiving grade, anything like that. More so pay attention to the stats. Devaughn, Vele, Cortland Sutton both had 4 receptions. Devaughn Vele, team high, 78 yards. Cortland Sutton, 53 yards and a touchdown. Troy Franklin, 31 yards and a touchdown and 2 receptions. Those guys were great. We're still not getting much from the tight ends, whether it's Lucas Kroll or Dulcich. I mean, Lucas Kroll, man, come on. I was rooting for you so hard. I put so many hype videos about you, man. Want to see him have his moment, but it's like, what the heck? What the heck, Lucas Kroll? Want to see you eat. And then, again, the biggest concern to me is just Marvin Mims. I mean, not getting targeted, not on the field a ton, on there for 16 passing snaps. Didn't find the stat sheet today. Let's take a look at the overall snaps for him. 17 total snaps for Marvin Mims. That's tough. But let's get to Bo Nix. Again, fine numbers because of garbage time, but the offense was not doing anything those first 3 quarters. 57% completion percentage. You want to see better at that. 2 TDs, interception. But let's go to the passing depth. You can see didn't hit in the intermediate on the outside. Was pretty good from deep. But yeah, just not a when Bo Nix has had these good games, you see him really hitting over the middle, having a lot more success, even hitting these intermediates on the outside. We just didn't see that today or in this game. Kept clean, 55% completion. He threw his 2 touchdowns under, being kept clean, but under pressure, 61% completion percentage for 72 yards. Kind of interesting stats. Off of play action was bad, 50%. Again, that doesn't surprise me. When you can't run the ball, that just gives the defense more time to do their thing when you're running play action. And then passing depth, again, there just wasn't a lot there. There just wasn't a lot there for Bo Nix. So those are the grades from Sunday's game. Let's see if Sean Payton, Bo Nix, all these guys can bounce back. Let's see if we can acquire a weapon. Wouldn't that be cool if we could do that instead of being sellers at the deadline every year? Let's go get a weapon. So y'all let me know your thoughts on this performance. Bo's got to be better. The offense has got to be better. Sean Payton has to be better. Let's get him into a rhythm and this offense into a rhythm early on against the Saints. I will see you guys later. As always, go Broncos.